What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Save Data Cast, the bi-weekly gaming podcast where we talk everything from reviews, previews, predictions, bad takes, hot takes, mostly bad takes. I'm joined by actual humans and legally questionable video game experts. Zach.
I mean, that is my 100% honest to God definition of myself. I can't confirm I'm human. I cannot confirm I'm a video game expert.
Hockey sticks and sickle herself, Elise.
This time we're running in with ultraviolet monster energy.
Woo!
Big energy for big games. And our legal counsel, Prij.
Good evening, everyone.
And since I forgot to introduce myself yet again, I'm your host, David. I'm a professional.
Who the fuck are you?
I am a goddamn professional. Like I said, bi-weekly gaming talk show where we talk everything video games. This week, we're going to be diving into the general topic of Lucasfilm games now that they exist again. Thanks, Disney, I think. We'll see. Before we get into any topics, last week on the show, we did our Fantasy Critic Draft. And now I'm going to give you some updates, and that's going to be a weekly short segment where we just tell you what's been happening in our Fantasy Critic League. So, since the last week was the draft, a lot has happened. It's going to be longer than most of the other ones probably will.
First, is it really?
Well, yeah, because a bunch of people picked up stuff.
Oh, we had the draft, the pickups.
Lot of post-draft pickups. And one drop. That was me. So I dropped Guilty Gear Strive after Chris explained to me after the show how horrible the multiplayer in the demo is, and they're keeping it. So, dropped that. Rectangle Helix Enix, which I believe is Zach. That's your team?
That's me.
Picked up Gotham Knights. Dapper picked up Neo, The World Ends With You. I picked up Solar Ash. Let's see. Big Games. I think that's Chris. Picked up Skatebird. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't say it correctly.
You put some respect on it. Big Game!
Picked up Skatebird. Elise picked up Maquette. I think that's how you say that. Right?
I say maquette, but I don't really know what's right.
Whatever. Let's see. Nope, those were failed bids. Prij picked up Chris Tales. I don't know what that is. It's good.
The indie game I've been seeing a bunch of previews for that I want to get because it looks pretty interesting.
It's the newest title in the Tales game series. I'm surprised you didn't know that, David.
It's not.
Tales of Chris.
Big Games also beat my bid and picked up Shin Megami Tensei 5. Freaking jerk. I picked up Total War Warhammer 3, beating out Elise's bid, I believe.
Yeah, you bid 5. I think I bid 2 or 3.
Zach picked up Ruin King, a League of Legends story. The turn-based tactics League of Legends game that's coming out sometime soon.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Elise picked up Stronghold Warlords. Those are failed. I picked up Super Mario Odyssey 2. That's a hope and a dream.
What the fuck? Do you have inside information I don't? Because I don't think that's coming.
I think it's coming. I don't have inside info.
Okay.
That's it. I made the prediction during the predictions episode.
David's lying.
It also only costs $1, so like whatever.
Yeah, I suppose that's fair.
Big Games also picked up Warhammer 40k Darktide.
That's going to be some good points.
Elise picked up Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 if that comes out. Zach picked...
I think it's coming.
I don't think it's coming this year. It's coming. Zach picked up... We went over this. Zach picked up Atomic Heart. Elise picked up Age of Empires 4.
Mm-hmm.
Zach also picked up Deltarune, Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin, and... Oh, wait, that's...
I gotta drop that game. You said it out loud, and I was like, oh, I don't want that. I don't want that game.
And Elise, with our last pickup, took Goodbye Volcano High.
I think that's a sleeper pick. I think that's going to be good.
I think it is too. I think it's a really good pick.
I was planning on picking that up and forgot, so... Looks to suck, I guess.
I think it's a good choice.
I think...
It's no Elden Ring, but hey.
What is? Nothing's Elden Ring, because Elden Ring doesn't exist. It's not real.
I think if you grab Elden Ring and it comes out, you just automatically win.
That's a great rule.
That would be
It's just our house
The
rule. If
ultimate
Elden Ring
gambit.
comes out and you have it, you win.
Matt, Monster Hunter Stories 2 has been announced. Yes, it has a release date. I just don't I don't think it's going to do that well. So
It's not a traditional Monster Hunter game.
right,
It's a
right.
much more niche Monster Hunter game.
It's a Pokemon clone with a like
Monster Hunter skin.
subpar, well, with a Monster Hunter skin and a subpar rock paper scissors like battle system.
Oh,
At least that's what the
Some-
first one
some
was.
Fire
I don't know
Emblem,
how
okay.
the second one's gonna do it.
Interesting. Did the first one come out in the West, or was it Japan
I
exclusive?
I think it came out in the West. I definitely had it on my 3DS or 2DS, but I don't know.
Oh.
I don't remember if that was like a hacked thing or if I got it for real.
Lisa's like, I don't remember if I illegally downloaded this or not.
I mean, listen.
Oh, I definitely didn't legally download it. I just don't know if it was translated.
I love that. I gave Elise the chance to not out herself. She's like, no.
Wait, it's something illegal.
Let me just put on my eye patch real quick.
Oh god,
This is my parrot up on my shoulder here. Here's my fucking hook hand.
yo. Only other fantasy updates. Little Nightmares 2 came out and has been reviewed. Currently sitting at an 82, giving Prij 12 points. And Honey Pop 2 Double Date released, and no one reviewed it because the horny reviewers are cowards. Absolute
The
cowards.
cowards at
I'm gonna
IGN
start-
refused to review the horny Match 3 game.
Look, I'm gonna start it. I'm gonna start it tomorrow, most likely. I'll give you guys my score when I get a chance.
Really quick, we do have a
That's
follow
great.
from I'm So Tired. Ooh, woo. Thank you.
Sorry, I hate your name. Just any name with ooh on it. That's...
Don't chase the people away, David. Jeez, oh Pete.
It's okay. I may hate your name, but you're still welcome here.
No, I'm so tired of woo. We like you. You're great. You'd be happy to know David doesn't run this channel. He just runs
true.
this show.
It's true.
So.
True fact.
Welcome, I'm so tired of woo. Please don't leave us.
Oh, too funny. All right, let's get into what we've been playing. Elise, it's your first time on in a long time. Why don't you tell us what you've been playing?
All right, let's see. I think the main one right now, Destiny 2 got a new season. Came out on Tuesday, as that's when weekly reset is, and it's fucking good. They finally got like an actual fun seasonal activity. Last season it was like literally you go to a place, you do like one sword combo on a boss, use your sparrow for a minute to get to a loading zone, load, take your sparrow for like another minute, and then do another one sword combo on another boss, and boom, you did your seasonal activity. It was very boring. This time it's like a big, like, it's called Battlegrounds, and there's a bunch of enemies, and it's just like a really good activity with good loot. Otherwise, the season's really good right now. Just briefly, I've also been playing a lot of OpenTTD, but I talked about that on Around the Monitor yesterday, so I'm not going to go too far into that.
Anything else?
Trains.
That's the main things right now. If y'all are into shooters, like, check out the new season of Destiny. It's quite good.
And if you're into trains,
If you're into trains, check out OpenTTD. That shit's great.
Question from someone who has never touched Destiny. If
Yes.
I want to get into Destiny, is it a quick onboarding thing, or am I going to spend 30 hours, 40 hours getting to the point where I can play the new content?
Oh, no. As if you started playing like a little over a year ago, if you started playing before Shadowkeep came out, then yes, it would be a long onboarding. But right now, you can jump in and basically be, you'll start at power level 1100. It'll take you maybe 2 hours to get up to power level 1250, which is when you start power leveling. I'm only at like 1265 right now.
Okay.
And like other than that, you won't have a lot of good loot, but that's not the biggest deal. But yeah, you can start playing the game like right away.
Yeah, that's good to know. That makes
Yeah.
me more interested in picking up Destiny, because and it's been going for so long, and like, ugh. I don't know if I want to get into that.
Well, they also, starting last season, so starting in November, they introduced sunsetting, where basically all old gear, if it's more than a year old, is just you basically can't use it in PvE content except for like and the more relevant PvP content. So even like if you've been in Destiny for a long time, all your grind kind of
It's gone if you didn't play for a while.
yeah, basically it's a controversial topic.
They basically just reset everyone. This is what it sounds like.
Well, you still have all your exotics. You've still got like all your good armor rolls, kind of. Although they did sunset armor as well, but yeah, it's a good time to get into Destiny, I think.
Okay, cool. Prij, what you been playing?
What have I been playing? So for the most part, I have really just been playing Troubleshooters and Hyrule Warriors 2. Really the only two big things I've been playing.
Still kicking around on that Hyrule Warriors too, huh?
I finally beat the story.
Wow.
Unlocked the 17th and final character.
Okay.
And now
So
I'm just
many characters.
Yeah, and now I'm just cleaning up the rest of the side quests and fetch quests on the map. My map completion is just under 90%.
Dang, you're getting way more time out of that than I would have ever expected.
I'm getting more time out than I would have ever expected. I'm very glad about that, truthfully.
In the end, does Link die?
What?
I mean, he doesn't die because he's in the next game.
Yeah, he gets put in the hyperbolic time chamber. It takes 100 years. He wakes up, and he starts from zero.
Well, don't spoil it. There's actual story
That's
stuff that
Breath of
happens.
the
That's
Wild.
the beginning of Breath
Well,
of the
okay,
Wild.
the Breath of the
That's
Wild
like
too.
first second
Yeah,
Breath
but
of the Wild.
The Hyrule Warrior stuff has like timey-wimey stuff that's not in the main game.
It gets very fucky. I'll spoil it if you want, but
No, probably not. Probably not.
All right.
Not on the show. I might ask you later.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
that's
just
it.
spoil
I'll
it.
ask you after the call. Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah, feel free to ask me when we're not online, when we're not live anymore.
And how's Troubleshooter still?
That's a ton of fun. Me and 8-Ball have been Skype calling and talking about it frequently because it's basically Super XCOM and it's very, very good.
I'm gonna have to get into this because I'm a huge XCOM person.
I never played 2. I need to play 2, but
oh my god, XCOM 2 is like probably one of the most addicting games I've ever played.
Oh, maybe I shouldn't play XCOM 2.
Like when I was playing that, I was like doing nothing else with my time. It was bad.
Okay, maybe I don't want to play XCOM. Maybe that's a bad idea.
Yeah, it's super fun, but man, oh man, I was consumed. Kind of like when I played Breath of the Wild. So there you go.
Any other games, Prij, or are those just all consuming?
I've been playing, but no, I think that's pretty much. I've just been rotating between those two and the occasional ARAM or TFT game. But no, I've really just been working on these two.
Well, I have been playing nothing new, but going back and revisiting a lot of stuff. So I started Minecraft again.
You absolute fool.
Guess what, guys? Minecraft is fun. It's a very good game. The last time I played was like my junior or senior of college, so like 2013 probably.
That's probably when I played last.
There is a lot of new stuff since then. Like a ton. It's very cool now. There's a ton of ocean stuff. There's like a lot more like boss things. The Nether is completely different from when I played. Overall, very cool. Liking Minecraft. There's a new update coming, so I think I'm putting it aside till the new update happens, and then I'll go back into it. They're like completely changing caves, which will be super cool.
So I have a question for you about this.
Yes.
Because I also started playing Minecraft again, like at about the same time as you. My friend started playing. I'm like, hey, let's start a server. And then we kind of just started playing solo, like together. But for me, I always like start up Minecraft. I build my little house. I build my mine. Get some like diamonds. Get some diamond armor, and then kind of just lose all like plot. Any like
You don't have a driving force anymore, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a driving force anymore. So for you, like, what's your gameplay loop for in Minecraft? Like, how do you? What keeps you
not
playing?
super different, honestly. So I do all that stuff. I'll usually go into like the Nether and start building like highways and things to get between settlements, which I get a lot of enjoyment out of. A lot of times it's just figuring out what I want to build and building it. And I'm very much out of like the different archetypes of gamer. Exploring is probably one of my favorite things to do. So like I'm cool just getting on a boat in Minecraft and traveling a few thousand units away, or taking like a nether portal and just seeing what's there, because like with the procedural worlds, like there's cool stuff, and the further you get out the cooler it gets usually, so it's pretty fun. And yeah, playing with friends changes it too, because you can start messing with each other, which is a whole new dynamic of enjoyment, honestly. Making traps for people is always very fun to just mess with them. There are lots of tools for that. It's great. But yeah, that's really it. And then I like building stuff, but I've never been super great at it, so I just try and build things that I want to build, whether it's a house. Sometimes like, oh, I want to build Sauron's tower or whatever. So I do. But you gotta like find a project for yourself. It's a lot more like it's a self-motivating game. The game gives you literally nothing to do on its own.
You just kind of like tell yourself what you want to do.
Especially since one of my main problems with Minecraft is there's very little. The things that there are to do, there's very little guidance on how to get there. Like they don't tell you can go to the Nether.
Yeah.
At all.
Would you say it's the Dark Souls of
absolutely
voxel games?
No.
There's a guy on YouTube who like is doing a playthrough of Minecraft with no like wiki or anything, no outside knowledge, and
fuck that.
That game is bad at teaching you
it's
anything.
Horrible.
Anything.
It's gotten better. Like if you pick up a material now, it'll tell you like, hey, the new recipes unlocked. You can actually look at a recipe book now. But even that doesn't have everything in it. So
yeah. And like even the recipe book is like that's good, but that's not like half of the progression.
No, and like you could totally miss the end if you just never happen to hit a stronghold when you're digging. Like if you don't search it out, you're not going to find it. In a similar vein to Minecraft, I've been playing a lot of the new Stardew update with a group of friends, which has been super fun. The new content is fantastic. There's a whole new island to explore with like new dungeon stuff, lots of new crops. There's a second farm there that you can grow stuff on. It's super cool and totally free, and I don't know why he made it, and it's great. You can get ostriches. It's cool.
I feel like at this point, like Stardew Valley's blown up so much, it's become one of those like indie lottery winners that Concerned Ape just like fucking loves his game and just wants people to love it as much as he does.
Pretty much, and like the guy's sitting on so much money, he can do what he wants at this point.
Exactly. Like, at this point, he doesn't need to make another game because he's still got Stardew Valley.
And he is still making two games apparently, but
yeah. He's super nice too. Like everything I've read about him has been like he's just such a chill dude. Like his story of becoming the guy who made Stardew is fascinating. Like he still drives like the same shitty car, or at least he did 2 years ago when Jason Schreier wrote the book. But
yeah, he had just gotten like
he's a multi-millionaire.
Yeah, I don't think it hit him yet, and I almost don't think it has still.
No, probably not.
But yeah, he just seems like a generally nice guy. Like when a bunch of accusations about Chucklefish, who had published the game initially, came out, he was like, "Oh, I guess I'm gonna publish this myself," and he like ditched Chucklefish because like the one guy was super shitty, who was like the head of the company, and so like I don't know, he just seems like a very genuine and awesome guy, and he keeps making the game better for no reason other than he wants to. Like that's it.
He's not making money off these updates, so
no. I mean, I guess it brings it back up.
More people are encouraged to pick it up, but still,
but it's not like the time he spends putting into an update is like he could have spent that time making a new game and making way more money.
And like the
but-
patch notes for his updates are always like 20 pages long. Like there's so many fixes and
Yeah.
changes. It's hilarious.
It's wild.
But yeah, the last game I've been playing is Tales of Fantasia still. That game's kind of long and it's not grabbing me, so I'm just slugging through it, man.
Yeah, it's almost like it was a bad idea to commit yourself to making a review of every single Tales game.
Nah, it'll be fine. I still like it. It's just like, oof, this didn't age great.
So where is Chris Tales going to fit into this?
It's not. Stop trying to make that a thing. It's not.
Listen, if Chris can make fucking Goofy a thing,
Because that's funny.
fuck you. It's not funny.
The Goofy thing is not funny.
The Goofy
Yes.
thing's funny at times. At times.
To be fair, it's never funny, though.
has become funny, but fuck, it was so unfunny for so long. It
That's
was like
true.
walking through the desert
true.
for 40 years.
That's true.
Jesus God, that
Twilight
Goofy joke.
Water.
Zach, what have you been playing? Let's escape this.
I think the only game I've played this week has been Shadow of War, which I have a lot of feelings on. I played the first like hour and a half of it probably a few weeks ago. Like it just kind of thinking about the Nemesis system. No, it had nothing to do. It was before the patent was filed. It was basically it was I think this month's PlayStation Plus game. And so I was like, oh cool, I always wanted to play this. I like the original. Play the first 2 hours of it, and I was like, this is not clicking with me. The first hour of the game is particularly bad. The tutorial is terrible as far as just like it'll do the thing where it won't tell you something, and then like there was a point where I had killed like 5 orcs, and it was like press square to attack, and I'm like, no shit, what the fuck? What have I been doing for the last 10 minutes? Like,
Shadow.
just
Are you playing the sequel?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like stuff like that I was like, this is so annoying to me. But my biggest gripe is the movement, the traversal, which I don't know if
bad.
I can't remember if the original was like this because I remember
It was.
Yeah.
I remember really enjoying that game. That was my second favorite game of the year for I think it was 2014 because my number one was Shovel Knight, but I loved this game. And the traversal in this one just sucks. Like the maps are good. Like the biggest complaint about the first one was that you play most of the game in one map, and then like towards the end you switch to another one, and that second one is way underdeveloped, and then the game ends very abruptly. This one definitely has a lot more maps. It has a lot more variety. Like the verticality in the first 2 maps that I've played is very great, and I really like that. But the way Talion, the main character, moves is you have to hold X to run. And if you're not running, you're moving about the speed of a snail, which is infuriating. Like there'll be something like 5 feet in front of me, and I will still try to run to pick it up because walking 5 feet slowly is like a light year. Or no, that's the opposite of what I meant. It feels like it takes forever. But if you hold to run, you like move 10 feet, and so you'll move way past the thing you wanted. But then the way like there's so many things of like you will always land on like a thing that Talion can touch. And what I mean by that is like if you're jumping onto a wall, you'll conveniently like line up to a thing, and then like he'll grab it. Even if there's like not a thing in the geometry there, you're like, oh, okay, this is a spot that he can climb. And then like you'll jump to a prescribed point. You can like double tap X to like jump super high with like ghost powers. It just, I don't think I'm doing a great job of explaining it, but the traversal pisses me off because it will constantly misinterpret what you mean. Like what in my head, I'm like, oh, if I double tap X, I'm going to move this far. And instead it will jump me to a specific place that Talion can land on. And it was not the place I expected. There's so many times I've jumped like a 200-foot down drop to like be in the middle of a crowd of orcs. And I'm like, this is not what I meant to do, Talion. What the fuck? And then I'm like, well, I guess I got to fight a shit ton of orcs now because they're all pissed at me.
Yeah. Having recently
the
played the
Nemesis
first
system.
game, that happened in that one too.
Okay. Yeah. The Nemesis system, though, is simply incredible. It really is so goddamn good. Like the storytelling I've had with it, like, again, I've only played, I think, 4 hours at this point, but like there was one of the first orcs I killed was just like a garbage. I can't remember what it is. It's like Gorko, the Brave or something like that, and I killed him very quickly because he had a weakness to like stealth attacks, and I'm like, well, it sucks to be you because that's one of the worst weaknesses to have, and just dropped down, insta killed him, great. Then like 45 minutes later, I'm walking, like I'm doing like a stealth mission, and out of nowhere, this like the camera pans and it's Gorko, and he's got like a big scar on his face. He's like, I don't know what your magic sword did, but it kept me alive. And it's like, now I'm gonna kill you. And you're like, what the fuck? So I kill Gorko again because he's garbage, but now he's called Gorko the Wounded. Still kill him, whatever. Fucking 2 hours later, Gorko shows up again. This time he has a metal like fishbowl over his head, except for his eyes and his mouth. He's like, you made me look even worse this time. I'm gonna get you and I'm gonna wear your face. And I was like, Jesus, Gorko. And so I killed him again. But like Gorko is undying now, and Gorko will keep hunting me in this game, which is amazing. And every time I see him, he's going to be slightly different. Like he'll have better powers, he'll have better techniques, and it's just like shit like that. I'm like, this is fucking cool. Like this needs to be in more games, and unfortunately, it's not. And I'm doing a video essay on that right now, so look out for that sometime this week.
Why it's
but
not?
Fucking
Why
Gorko,
it won't anytime soon?
But fucking Gorko is going to keep pursuing me. So
Gorko the Undying, man.
It's fucking good. It's fucking, and like there was another instance, like the first time I was going to die in this game, I got absolutely cheesed by an orc. He had like poison arrows was his gimmick, and
poison's rough in that game, yeah.
Yeah, and I had like I was like level 3, like I had no health, and so like I got poisoned, screwed, and I was like, I gotta run. Started bolting, like ran away, and I was like, cool, I think I'm good here. And out of fucking nowhere, this guy like climbs up this mountain and just goes and pops me. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna die thanks to poison. And so like Talion falls down, and there's an animation of the orc like walking up to him, and he's about to inflict the killing blow. And again, at this point, I have not been introduced to like half of the orcs in this one map. And out of nowhere, as he's about to shoot me, another fucking orc who has a ukulele with a blade on one side shows up and chops the other orc's head off. And he's like, this orc was my orc. I was going to kill him. I don't care who you are, Ranger. Get the fuck out of here. And I'm like, okay, cool. I guess I just got saved by another orc for no reason.
This game is an orc with a fucking ukulele.
Yeah. No, he like chopped his head off with his ukulele blade and then like whipped it out, went bring, and was like, I was like, what the fuck is this game? It's very good.
That's very good. I just wish it felt better to play.
100%, because the way I got a Valken grip this thing to just move in a way that is close to what I want is a nightmare, but very cool Nemesis system. Shame we won't see it in anything else
ever again.
Ever until 2035, unless it shows up in other WB games.
I think they said they're probably using it for Batman.
Fun fact: they said they were going to use it for Batman, and they also said they're going to use a modified version for Harry Potter, which I don't know how the fuck that's going to make sense, but I'm excited for it.
You're gonna fucking kill some people in Harry Potter.
Just other. It's Cerberus Snape is now he's undying. I don't know.
Hey, with his bladed ukulele.
Yeah.
Cerberus Snape joined the Invisible Man from Mass Effect.
Says, turn your books to page 327. That was okay. That was not a great impression.
Honestly, your orc impression was much better than their Snape impression.
Your
orc impression was great. Orc impression was 10 out of 10. That was good.
Much better than your Alan Rickman.
Yeah, my Alan Rickman needs work.
Okay, let's move to the other undying franchise that is Star Wars. Lucasfilm Games. If you haven't been paying attention to gaming news lately, Lucasfilm Games has been resurrected from the dead by Disney after they axed it almost 10 years ago, 8 years ago, something like that.
It's been a while.
Been a minute. So they axed LucasArts. They gave EA a 10-year supposedly exclusivity to make Star Wars games. That went fantastic, as everyone knows. So they decided, fuck it, we're just gonna spin up Lucasfilm Games. It's been working for Marvel games. We got Spider-Man, we got like Marvel Dark Alliance or whatever that game is called. Ultimate Alliance, sorry. Some other Marvel games that have been doing pretty well. Many of us have played Star Wars games in the past. We've played other Lucasfilm or LucasArts. They've gone by both names in the past. So I just wanted to take some time and talk about where we think they're going to go, where we want them to go. Is this going to be good? Is it going to fall flat on its face? All that jazz. So I guess let's start with this. What game or series of games are you most anticipating that they make? Not you think they'll make, but what do you want to come back from the dead?
Oh, come back from the dead, like a franchise that's already kind of been a thing.
Either come back from the dead, or if it's like, say you really, really, really love Jedi Fallen Order and you want Jedi Fallen Order 2, that counts still. That's fine.
Okay.
I mean, that's where I'm at. Fucking Jedi Fallen Order is a fantastic game. It's got its issues, for sure. For sure, it's got its issues.
For sure.
Don't get me wrong, but that game's like, at its core, a pretty solid Souls-like with all sorts of other genres just like mashed into it crudely into a stew. Fucking Metroidvania. There's like Sonic the Hedgehog elements, which are wild.
Oh yeah, I guess you're.
I hate that you're not wrong. You said that, and I was
Yeah.
like, "What?" And I was like, "No, you're right.
Yeah,
you're totally
you're kinda
right."
It's a wild game, but like I really like the characters, especially fucking like Cal and Seer and the Night Sister, whose name I always forget, but she's actually the best character in that game. And fucking BD1
Agreed.
is the best droid in Star Wars.
I don't know if I go that far, but he's pretty dope.
He's up there. I'll give you that. He's up there.
I'll give you that. Okay, so Jedi Fallen Order 2, Prij or Zach.
Just so Prij doesn't say it first, KOTOR.
I've never played a KOTOR. I've never played a KOTOR game.
Oh, there you go.
Neither have I, actually.
Oh shit!
They're so good.
KOTOR kicks ass. At least the first one.
The second one's better, in my opinion.
Really, I feel like that's not how people feel usually. But I didn't play the second one.
The second one's buggy because it's an Obsidian game, and
I was just saying because it was made by Obsidian.
Well, no, it's not that it was made by Obsidian. It's that this has happened at least twice to them with this and Fallout New Vegas, where it's a sequel in the same engine to a well-received game that they have a year to make, so they need to make something amazing.
That's fair.
With like no budget and no time, and they fucking managed it with Fallout New Vegas, and Fallout New Vegas is like a buggy mess, but it's Fallout New Vegas, and they managed it with KOTOR 2, which is basically KOTOR 1, but actually well written.
Wow, that's a bold ass statement, yo.
Look,
KOTOR 1.
KOTOR 1 is well written for like a pulpy like sci-fi thing, and it's got a great twist, which everyone knows by now.
Please don't spoil it, right?
Oh,
okay.
It's a great twist, David. It's a great twist.
I'm hoping
the minute-to-minute
a remaster's
the
coming.
Dialogue, like the dialogue and the choices you have are pretty boring and pretty lame.
You're probably not wrong. It's been a while, obviously, and it was at a time when we were all much more forgiving to video games because they were just blowing our minds. But like I mean, any kind of like BioWare, Obsidian sort of like RPG set in the Star Wars universe. Honestly, it doesn't matter to me if you play it doesn't matter if you play a Star Wars. It doesn't matter to me if you play as a Jedi. Obviously, that would be cool for what that would be for combat. But like even in KOTOR, like you had plenty of people who were not Jedi who didn't have hand-to-hand combat with lightsabers. They would be just firing from the back. Hell, give me a fucking Mass Effect game with a Star Wars coat of paint. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically what KOTOR is. Like that.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Mass Effect is a continuation, like a direct continuation of.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Lost One says, "What is KOTOR?" It is Knights of the Old Republic, and a
It's
very good Star Wars game.
it's a BioWare RPG set like 3,000 years before the Star Wars like main timeline.
Mhm. It's very good. I
It's very
recommend it a lot.
Rich, what about you?
Okay, I think this is the best timing ever to revive this.
Ooh.
Star Wars Bounty Hunter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
With the popularity of The Mandalorian, you make an
That's a
actual
really good point.
working, actual good Star Wars Bounty Hunter game.
Mhm.
It's a very
I mean,
good point.
that's such good timing, in my opinion.
It's a very good point.
If only,
Because like
if only,
that game ages terribly. I bet you if I tried to go back and play it, the original one for the GameCube / PS2, it would be
Yeah.
terrible, almost certainly. But damn, did I love it when I was a kid.
Just imagine, like, yeah, what would they do with the tie-in stuff?
They
I mean,
could
in a
go
perfect world, they
so
wouldn't do a
many
tie-in, but
places. Like they could go a lot of different places with it because they could go like
now,
Jango Fett Republic era stuff, or they could just take the idea of Bounty Hunter, put it with like Boba or another Mandalorian at another time, because they really, since they made Bounty Hunter, they've expanded on Mandalorians a fuck ton.
they really have. Let's just say, what if? Let me float you this one. In the original, or obviously, Pedro Pascal is going to play Joel in the Last of Us HBO series. What if we get Troy Baker to play?
You know that's just gonna
Mandalorian?
happen. Troy Baker's in all the games. You think Troy Baker isn't gonna play like a rough space cowboy, which is basically what a fucking Mandalorian is? Like,
yeah, it's kind of what he do.
yeah, that's kind of his whole thing. For me, one I'd really like to see. Saw that, Zach. What I'd like to see is Star Wars Squadrons was cool. It was way too simmy for me. I want Rogue Squadron.
What do you mean by semi?
Simulation. It was like too far into the simulation, like way away from an arcade game.
Too realistic.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Too complex. Like,
yeah, like they had a ton of systems in it. Like I kind of want more of the arcade style one that was Rogue Squadron. Like it still had a ton of missions. It wasn't so complicated that like I had to worry about as much stuff as I do in Squadrons, because I played Squadrons. It was fun. I had a pretty good time with the campaign. It wasn't like my favorite, but I had a pretty good time with it. Like I want to give me like, I think they're making a Wedge Antilles show, aren't they?
They're making a what show?
Wedge
probably.
Antilles.
They announced so many fucking shows.
Yeah, there's literally I think 11 Star Wars properties coming out.
I think there might be Rogue or something. I don't remember.
I think one of them is a Rogue. Yes, I do believe correct that one of them is supposed to be a Rogue Squadron based.
Give me a fucking tie-in game. Like I don't care if it's a tie-in. Just give me it in the old style. Like I want it to be arcade. I want it to be that third-person flight perspective instead of like the first-person one. So make it a little more casual. Not a VR game that you then port to other stuff. Because that's clearly what happened with Squadrons. Like, give me that. I need that in my veins, man. Because that's what I wanted from Squadrons. I knew going in that that's not what I was going to get, because they were very clear that it was a simulation game. So it's like, okay, this isn't what I want, but it's enough to like scratch the itch, which it was. It was enough to scratch that itch, but...
Matt brings up Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, which...
That's a great
game. That's a great game, yeah. I had a really fun time playing that.
I've only played I think I've played Jedi Academy and the first Dark Forces game. The Dark Forces series has the wildest names. They it's like every time they swap out the subtitle as the main title and then add a subtitle to that. It's wild.
Elise, known lover of the Kingdom Hearts franchise, blaming this on the franchise for having bad titles.
And known lover of the Fast and the Furious franchise. So
what even is a title to you, Elise?
I just got lost in those games. I don't know.
Let me float y'all one of the least beloved. It's an infamously bad Star Wars game, Masters of Terrascasi.
I don't even know what the fuck that is.
It's a
That's
Star
not
Wars
a thing,
fighting
though.
game.
Yeah,
Ew.
it's
no.
it's Star
No.
Wars like trying to do Tekken.
No.
Yeah, it literally is
Ew.
that. You play as
Absolutely
a bunch
not.
of
I
you
don't
play
need
as a
that.
bunch of Jedi.
Don't need that. I'm good. I'm okay.
Sounds terrible.
Nah, it would actually be bad. But
So
it'd be kinda
now
fun.
that I've gotten everyone's hopes up, reminiscing, thinking
Oh,
about
hold on.
what...
Can I do one more though?
Yeah, go for it. What you got?
Please.
Can we bring back the greatest Star Wars character of all time, Dash Rendar?
Yes, thank you.
What's he from?
What was the name of the game he was in?
Shadows of the Empire.
Shadows of the Empire. That game kicks so much ass.
Didn't play
Again,
that one.
another game that I bet you if I tried to play right now would age atrociously.
Prij,
But
I'm gonna
once
tell
again,
you,
another game I loved as a kid.
I played it like within the last 5 years, just for shits and giggles. Oh my god, it's so bad. It's so bad. What were we thinking? But yeah, it was so good as a kid.
Oh, this is N64 and win. Oh, this looks horrible. Okay, no.
Fuck that.
Oh yeah,
fuck
it's
that.
so.
Fuck that one. Fuck that one. Android boss fight though. I never could beat that son of a bitch.
The one on the train.
Yep.
The IG-88
You know
droid?
exactly what I'm talking about. Yep.
Yeah, the IG-88. I love that level, dude.
That level is incredible. That boss can eat my ass.
I do actually have one more quick one as well,
Go
Please.
for it.
which is so there's this great series, Who Shot Guybrush Threepwood on YouTube about like how the adventure game dies. We all know Lucasfilm games or LucasArts aren't just known for their Star Wars games and whatever, but they're also known for like fucking Monkey Island and the Day of the Tentacle and shit. Like they made some of the premier, like they basically were the point and click adventure game genre, at least the like
Absolutely.
major titles.
They made all of the good ones, yes.
Yeah, they made all the good ones. And in his second video, he basically says, "What's the future of the adventure game? Because it's not point and click adventures; those are fucking dead." Broken Age came and was bad, so
It's walking sims.
Broken Age was not
The answer
bad.
is walking
Yeah.
sims.
but what he basically says, it's things like walking sims and things like Oberdin, Oxenfree, not just walking sims, but like that kind of narrative adventure game. It's not like
Shit.
puzzle focused, but I want like a fucking Firewatch or a Oberdin, something like
I'll just
that.
say,
in Star
a
Wars.
murder mystery set in the Star Wars universe? Are you fucking kidding
Yeah.
me? That would be incredible.
Yeah, just like
Holy shit.
I want a narrative focused, like no or minimal combat game set in the Star Wars universe.
Wait.
Oh,
And if they at least get some of the team back from like Golden Age LucasArts, like they
What
could
about-
make that so well.
let me put you this. Assuming, and this is a big fucking if, Telltale Games actually manages to get their goddamn feet off the ground with this rebrand, could they get the fucking Star Wars license and make a Star Wars thing?
Oh, you mean like Skybound to pick them up, basically?
Correct me if I'm wrong. Aren't they doing? Isn't it Telltale has like kind of revived under new management?
Oh, if I did, I missed that.
Because they're doing the Telltale.
Oh, that's right. They're
Wolf
doing
Among Us
Wolf Among Us
2, which is just so many words to say all at once. Last one says they're saying Star Wars Ace Attorney, Star Wars Galactic Senate Trial.
No. See, what
That's
I
very good.
what I want. How many of you have seen Clone Wars, like the 3D one, not the 2D one?
I've seen the first season, which I know is the worst.
Yeah, it's. What I was gonna say is there is a couple episodes in the Clone Wars where there is a not Republic City. God, that's fucking. There's a Coruscant investigator that is fucking like Orville and the douchebag, but he like is investigating crimes within like the Senate and the like Jedi Temple, and I just give me a Telltale game where we're him or like his
like,
partner. That would be entertaining.
Again, like there are so many like characters and storylines in the Star Wars universe. Obviously, a lot of it has been handled poorly, but the reason people keep coming back to it is because there is the potential for so much amazing stuff. It's such a great injection of like space and technology and sci-fi and magic that just we want some of that.
I could do
Give us
without
that.
some of the magic stuff.
It's also just like both Star Wars and
Oh.
video games have been like saturated by every show, every fucking movie, every game of Star Wars has to be, lightsaber fights, gun battles, whatever. And Star Wars is such a rich and interesting world, and that's not all that there is to Star Wars. Some of the best like Clone Wars arcs are the ones where there's no guns at all.
Yeah. One of my, I mean, going back to Telltale, Tales from the Borderlands, a game that normally is only about shooting and funny jokes. Tales from the Borderlands, legitimately so funny and good.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you
I wouldn't
cannot
necessarily-
shoot a gun.
Wouldn't necessarily say that Borderlands is known for being funny, but Tales from the Borderlands, yes.
We've been over this. We can't get into being like, is Borderlands actually funny? But
Yeah.
I was gonna go a different place first, but Elise, since you mentioned Monkey Island Adventure games, do you think this new Lucasfilm Games entity, do they even bother with some of those old properties, or do they just basically stick to Star Wars and Indiana Jones? Because, like, just real quick, some of the ones they're known for: Full Throttle. They're known for Day of the Tentacle, Grim Fandango, Secret of Monkey Island. That had a ton of games. Those were the big adventure games.
Yeah.
Some other random like air combat games, but I think those were all. Yeah, I'm not seeing. Do you think they revisit any of those? Do they resurrect them from the dead?
I think those series are dead. I think for at least the first like couple releases, they're definitely just going to stick to like Star Wars, maybe an Indiana Jones.
Well, we already know
thing,
they're
but
doing an
probably
Indiana
not.
Jones thing.
Okay, we do.
Yeah.
true.
Do we know if they're bringing back like the team from LucasArts, or is it just like a new
No,
brand?
they're
Okay.
just going, from what I'm aware of, they're sticking to licensing. They're not going to spin up any internal development studio.
Right.
And at this
Okay,
point,
so-
LucasArts has pretty much gone to the winds. Like, those people
Yeah,
are
I'm sure
everywhere
they've
now.
all been.
From
in
Double
that case, I
Fine
think it's going
to
to be entirely
EA.
like. I think it's going to be entirely like Star Wars, and the Indiana Jones game here. There.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I forgot about the Indiana Jones game. It's going to be fucking Uncharted, but worse.
I mean, we'll see. It's being developed by Machine
Hey
Games.
now. We don't know that. We don't know that. It very much could be.
Also, Machine Games is doing it. I can't imagine that being Uncharted-like. Or if it is, it'll actually have good shooting, unlike fucking Uncharted.
Speaking of games that we have confirmed by Lucasfilm games so far, Ubisoft does have a contract to make a Star Wars game.
With the Division 2 developer, yeah.
I mean, that could be a bajillion things. I mean, of course, it's going to be open world. Like, that's a fucking given. But, like, apart from that,
Pretty sure they said it, too.
are we getting... they're like, it's a Ubisoft open world game set in Star Wars. But, like, are we getting shooty shoot? We're definitely getting shooty shoot.
Shooty
We're
shoot.
definitely getting lightsabers too.
Are we getting
think so?
shooty shoots?
I
don't
Is
know
that,
if
is,
we
that, is,
are.
that, is that a technical term, Zach?
Yeah,
Very
they
technical.
call it a shooty shoot looter.
Okay.
That's honestly better than shooter looter. I'm kind of okay with shooty shoot looter.
Shit, it's looter shooter. I should have said looter shooty shoot.
Shooter,
I don't
looter,
know.
looter, shooter, they're the same fucking thing. You're fine.
Diablo with guns. It's Diablo with guns, everybody.
I mean, like, I think we're getting that. The only thing that makes me think we may get a return to some of those adventure game franchises is I recently watched some sort of interview with Tim Schafer. I forget what site it was on.
Of course you
And
did.
I was just going to say this should surprise literally no one who has watched more than one episode of our content. But apparently Double Fine had actually tried to not, like, when they did the remaster of Grim Fandango, Day of the Tentacle, and Full Throttle, all the games Tim Schafer worked on, basically, they tried to buy the rights to those IPs, and Lucasfilm/Disney would not let go of them. They're like, we won't sell you the rights, but we will license a remaster to you, is pretty much what it came down to. Which makes me think, like, Disney would probably rather take a quick buck than, because they're not going to do anything else with these series. If they would have sold it, I feel, if they had zero plans to do anything with it in the future.
Totally.
So that's the only thing that makes me think they may do something with it.
I would say counterpoint, Konami holding their IPs, but
Disney
is slightly
Konami
different.
is holding it and licensing it, right? So other than Metal
Are
Gear.
they?
I mean, they apparently licensed that 6 Days to Fallujah or whatever the fuck they were working for.
That's right. That was originally their
That was
game.
Konami, yeah.
That was a Konami game?
That was a Konami game.
And
Jesus,
they
that's
dropped
weird.
it. They dropped it because they were like, "Oh shit, this is actually controversial. We shouldn't make this video game." And then fucking 10 years later, the CIA is like, "We're going back to Iraq."
So, I mean, I don't know that we know if they licensed it or if they sold the IP, but like, either way, Konami's still making money on a game that never even released.
Yeah.
Which at that point, just name it something different and don't contact Konami and keep your money. But
no, they have to reference the real world war crime they committed in this video game.
Yeah, let's not dive too deep into that one. But like that's the only thing that's making me think they might revisit it in some form. It could be just like a collection. It could be, can't see them remastering again. Maybe they make a walking sim in those worlds, because they'd be cool if you do like first person or whatever adventure game.
You know me, I am always horny for a walking sim. If you give me a walking sim in any of these universes, like I'm down to clown. Just adapt the point and click adventure to a walking sim.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
Yeah, essentially.
Put me on like Dantooine or some shit, and let me have like a small Star Wars story. That's all I want. That's all I want.
Give me a first person puzzle thing.
Yeah.
No,
like a 6 hour long escape room video game, but set in whatever these universes are that they want to do. I mean, shit. Give me a VR. Fucking. Jesus God. I was about to say Harrison Ford, but that's actually several characters.
Solo?
No, we just said it. Indiana Jones, where you're exploring a fucking tomb or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, I got to put the thing in the thing and turn it, and oh shit, it's the boulder."
Curious, actually,
in VR.
Did anyone play any of the old Lucasfilm Indiana Jones games?
I did not.
I played part of the one on GameCube.
Okay.
I didn't play the point and click adventure one, but
okay.
I have heard that it was cool for the time.
I grew up on Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis, which is an old Lucasfilm point and click game.
I was a Sierra kid as far as that genre goes.
That's all far before my time. Y'all are old.
Hey, I turned 30 in 2 days.
Hey.
Hell yeah.
Oh my! So I'm scrolling through Wikipedia while we've been doing this whole conversation, looking at different like properties that they own, and I hadn't looked at the actual Lucasfilm yet. So I want to talk about some of the new things they could make. So we know they have Star Wars. We know they have all these games they could remaster, bring back from the dead, all that sort of crap. There are a lot of other games. They're not other games. There are a few other movies that they have actually made and may or may not own the rights to. One of them is fucking Labyrinth. That was a Lucasfilm game. Or sorry, Lucasfilm movie.
Get David Bowie back in action. This is a great vehicle for him. I can't wait to see him sing again.
And one real big one, Howard the Duck. Gotta get Howard the Duck in here. Same year as Labyrinth, actually.
Please no.
Really quick, are we not going to acknowledge that nobody said anything about me saying David Bowie should be back in video games?
I was just hoping you'd say something about it.
Oh wait, he's dead. That's right. I forgot he died. Oh, I'm sad again.
He died in
how did you? That was the whole thing. Real talk, Labyrinth is a great property.
It's great. I mean, I feel like there are a whole lot of licensing things, not just Lucasfilm probably just did the production on it. Because it's also got like Jim Henson and a ton of other stuff, but they've done a few other movies, but really, boy, they really only did Star Wars and, and Indiana Jones. That's almost it.
Wait. No, I keep talking. Actually, I got to do some research.
I mean, I was gonna move on to the next topic.
Go for it.
Okay.
Absolutely go for it.
So there are a few other properties, but one thing I really want to hit on is I don't want them to just make new stuff or old stuff again, right? I hope a lot of us don't want them to just make old stuff again. What sort of new territory do you think? And I know the walking sim stuff is kind of new territory for it, so we touched on it a little bit already. But what sort of new territory do you want them to go in with, I guess, specifically Star Wars and Indiana Jones? If you've got any others, feel free to bring them in.
I can definitely say I would. This genre is pretty much dead. They're making about 1 or 2 games of these every year, and there technically has been a Star Wars game in this genre. But give me a Star Wars RTS, please.
I was gonna say a Star Wars strategy game.
Yeah, or even it could be a Civ. It could be a turn-based.
Oh, dude,
strategy
fuck
game.
that!
Like,
I want
we have Empire War.
StarCraft, but Star Wars.
Exactly.
Yeah. We've got Empire at War, which is basically like Total War, but Star Wars. It's not quite that, but that's basically what it is.
There technically in
Oh,
2001.
I want that too.
What's their name? The people who did all the Age of Empires games. I literally did a video on them.
Ensemble.
Basically a skin of Age of Empires.
In Star Wars. It's Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds in 2001.
Oh my god, I forgot that game existed.
So did everybody.
Oh my god.
But basically that, but modern and good. Yes, please.
First off, Star Wars Battlegrounds was good.
Yeah, you know what? You're actually right. Everybody that had played that game did love it.
Hang
Well,
on.
it was
There was a
good
lot of
because
people that
it was
played
Age
it.
of Empires.
Hang
It
on,
was
hang on,
literally
hang on.
just Age of Empires.
Yes.
Holy shit! The custom map creator was so fucking funny. I literally made the Padawans get their revenge on Darth Vader by just spawning Darth Vader surrounded by like 80 Padawans, and I did a different like 80 Jawa children, and watch as they slowly mauled him to death.
That's
and I'm like, that's for episode 3, you son of a bitch.
Okay,
So good.
I'm gonna fucking lose this if I don't get this out now. Everyone who played old school Battlefront misses Galactic Conquest, right?
Correct.
Very
Galactic
much
Conquest was the fucking shit.
Mm-hmm.
You are correct.
Galactic Conquest, Total War, where instead of different territories, you've got different planets, you've got fleets traveling between them. It's basically just fucking Galactic Conquest. And then the battles, instead of being like a third-person shooter, bam, you've got Total War style battles.
Hey, David?
Yeah.
You ever heard of Empire at War?
No, I never played it.
Because you're describing Empire at War.
Why have I not played
Conquest? I like Galactic Conquest because it combined the first-person shooter with the tactical stuff. If you take away the first-person shooter part, then it's not really Galactic Conquest anymore.
I love that. I'm looking up Star Wars Empire at War, and the map, like the universe, the galactic map, I'm like, oh, this is a Star Fox map. But then you go into the games, and I'm like, oh no, this is Total War, exactly.
Why?
Also, Empire at War, like the modding scene on that is incredible. Like,
I'm
there
about
are
to fucking download this
gigantic
game like right
remake
now.
mods that are being updated like to this day.
Who made this petroglyph? Who
This-
the fuck is that?
This will never happen. But give me an Advanced Wars Star Wars game. Advanced Star Wars.
That would be
It will
very
never
cool,
happen.
but it won't.
It will
happen.
never
It'd
happen.
be very cool, but
It would be amazing, but it
I
has
would
such a
love-
-0 chance of happening.
Yeah, it's
Well, like-
literally like Disney's like, okay, what games do we want to make? They're going to sell super well with the Star Wars franchise. They're not going to make that fucking game. Are you kidding me? Even Nintendo doesn't want to give us Advance Wars.
I could see them doing like a fucking XCOM or like a Fire
An
Emblem. Like,
XCOM? 100% I want a Star Wars XCOM. Inject that into my goddamn veins. But
Like it's nowhere near the realm of like, the things that we've been talking about before, but it's possible. It's in the realm
I
of
mean, so
possibility.
let's be real here. Like, the whole point of Lucasfilm games is like the Marvel games to license and encourage other developers to use the Star Wars IP and like just act kind of as a centralizing point where they can be like, okay, the story you're making, we need to make it canon, so it needs to like we need to work with you to make that happen in a realistic way, right? There's Firaxis makes XCOM, right? I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is
Or they publish it at least. I don't know.
there
who
is
makes it.
no reason on this fucking planet that Lucasfilm Games can't just go to Firaxis and be like, hey, XCOM's dope. We love XCOM. Would you like Star Wars? And they would say no. Like, who's gonna say no to that? Clearly they like Star Wars.
It's the thing where they could either go to Firaxis or they could now go to, I don't know the name of the studio that works at Xbox that did the Gears of War.
Gears
Oh,
Tactics.
Gears Tactics. They could also do it, and it would probably not be as good as Firaxis, but it wouldn't be. I mean, it would be.
I've heard
still
Gears
very good.
Tactics is like almost as good as XCOM. Like,
Yeah,
I've heard-
it's
I've
not
heard
bad.
about Gears
It's
Tactics.
very good.
it splash damage with the coalition.
What a I don't want to say it's not a great name for a video games
That's
company.
pretty good.
Splash
That's a pretty good name,
I
honestly.
think it's a pretty good
Oh,
name.
I don't like it.
Rebrand
okay.
time.
So the Splash Damage team has been working with the Coalition on a bunch of Gears of Wars up until this point.
Gosh,
So I think
okay.
this was their first one where it looks like they were the primary dev, and the Coalition
That's
was
dope
just
for
backing them
them.
up.
Congrats.
So
they made a good game.
they did, but you have a very good point. That would probably be an Xbox exclusive one, but like that would still be sweet.
I guarantee you, Xbox would love to have an exclusive Star Wars game.
Oh,
so.
guarantee it. Well, that goes into the point of would Lucasfilm want that? And we don't know with the Indiana Jones one, since they likely negotiated that before Bethesda got purchased.
Almost certainly.
Whether that is going to be exclusive
which means
or not.
that probably would have to come to multi-plat.
Probably. We don't know. We'll find out in like 3 years when that game comes out. But
true.
That would be very interesting. Because I think they could approach either of those studios, and who's going to say no to that? The thing about the Star Wars franchise is like Elise, how old are you?
21.
Elise is 21. Me and Zach are like 30 years old.
Old enough to drink orange juice with some pulp.
There's a purpose for the question. So Elise is like 21. Me and Zach are like 30. A bunch of the people that grew up with Star Wars. A bunch of people that grew up with the original Star Wars franchise, like as it came out, are in their like 40s and 50s now.
Yeah, they're old.
There's no one in game development because like going back, Elise is like 20, 21 and still loves the Star Wars franchise. Me and Zach are like 30, still love the Star Wars franchise.
Mm-hmm.
The people at these studios are going to be between 21 and like 40 or 50 and are probably going to love the Star Wars franchise. I really feel like Lucasfilm Games has their pick of the litter, basically. Like if they approach pretty much anyone with an even relatively decent deal, they're just going to say yes. It's like, hey, do you want Star Wars? Matt asks in the chat, Prij is 32, right? No, I don't think so.
28, right? Or 27.
Yeah, Prij a little bit younger than me and Zach. But yeah, like they can pretty much approach anyone. Indiana Jones, I think, is more iffy. It's gonna be harder to approach people and be like, "Hey, you want to make an indie game or Indiana Jones game?" That's gonna keep going.
I'll make an indie Indiana Jones game.
I already regret saying it. But yeah, like Indiana Jones doesn't have the same amount of like pressure and social cachet as Star Wars does. They can just walk up to people and be like, you want to make a Star Wars game? They're gonna say yes. Like
I think their problem the problem there becomes, do they want to worry about diluting the brand, which I think has become an issue over the last decade with the new movies and EA having the sole license to it. I think they're going to be very smart about how they pick people.
Yeah, I'm just saying they have Lucasfilm Games has all the advantages because they have the IP. They have, I think, a lot of people that worked with Marvel games initially are, and the one that comes to mind to me is John Drake, who worked licensing for, I think, Sony.
I was going to reference John Drake. Yeah, he's great.
And he's doing, I think he's doing Lucasfilm games now. But it's a lot of people who, in the past, it hasn't been people who know games, it's people who know the IP. And they pick a person, they license it, and they don't necessarily know what they're going to get out of it. With the way the games industry has changed and evolved over the years and who they have on their team now, they can really go out and find developers who have a proven track record, because they're not going to take a risk on a new dev. That's not going to happen. Not with Star Wars.
Totally.
But they can really go out and find, like, for Marvel, where they found Insomniac to make Spider-Man after they made God, what was that game? Xbox One
Infamous.
launch?
No, Xbox. Sunset Overdrive.
Thank you. Yeah. They made Sunset Overdrive, and they're like, okay, you have some cool stuff here that can become Spider-Man. Like, we see you going in that direction. They have, now that they have people that are actually like video game professionals instead of licensing professionals, they can go and be like, we see what you're doing.
It really has become the coolest thing, I think, or not the coolest, but one of the coolest things of the last like decade is literally we would see so many garbage license games on like the Wii and like that whole generation. And literally up until that point, like anytime a movie came out that was big for kids, you'd see a fucking game tie-in for it. And it would be trash, but it would sell well. And some shitty studio would get tasked with making it. Nowadays, we get news about like, oh, hey, IO Interactive is making the next fucking James Bond game. What a dream! What a dream! Like match of developer and IP. I think that's mostly what we're going to see moving forward, which is very exciting. As a gamer, I'm like, fuck yeah, give me this game matched with like a great studio. Matt, the infamous Sucker Punch, which you're totally right. For some reason, I always fuck that up.
It could definitely have been an Insomniac game. I could definitely see Lucasfilm like pulling the Warhammer thing, where basically they license out like small parts of it to fucking anyone, but give the like whole universe to specific people. So like
the galaxy far away.
I don't see them doing that, because I think they got burned too much in the past doing that. I mean, if you go back and look at like the LucasArts games they've made, like, holy shit, they released so many Star Wars games in the 90s and early 2000s. Like,
yeah, and how many of those do you remember? Do you remember the bad ones?
No, but they dilute it. Like, right, they don't want to license these games to, because like Star Wars is now like as much as I really fucking hate using these words, like a prestige franchise, right? They don't want to. And they've already sort of been burned by EA recently, where they invested a lot of time into like getting these IPs developed with EA, and for the most part didn't seem to work out super well. They didn't get as many games as they wanted. Like Battlefront 1, I don't think sold so great. Battlefront 2 had a huge loot box controversy, and people were returning the game, and its reputation was tarnished for years.
There was a story of, I think it was Bob Iger at the time. Yes, who was the CEO of Disney. Literally had to call EA and be like, hey, people are mad at Star Wars. People are mad at this franchise we just bought. What the fuck is going on there?
Yeah.
And it's the most, I cannot imagine being called by the CEO of fucking Disney and being like, why do you have the exclusive rights to a franchise we own? Do we need to take away your toys? Do you need to go to timeout? I'm fucking the CEO of Disney. I'm Bob Iger, you son of a bitch. Click. Like, fuck. I can't imagine how that feels.
There were some chats in that studio that...
oh, God. I would be terrified.
But I definitely think they have a risk of making too many games. I think they're on the verge of doing that for their TV series, honestly.
Oh, for sure. Yes.
I'm already burnt out on Marvel, and it looks like they're going to do the same thing to Star Wars. But like,
I'm actually burnt out on Marvel and Star Wars, truthfully.
Yeah, I think
at least TV show wise.
I think 2020 was a really good like breath of fresh air, because we really didn't get a Marvel release. And I am enjoying WandaVision right now a lot because it's so unique and different. And really all we've had is Mandalorian, but I like looking at the slate they have of Star Wars television shows and shit that's coming out. I'm like, oh, you guys fucked up. This is gonna be a nightmare.
I hope they're very different and they're spread out and they're just announcing them. That's my hope. But
totally. I am like, oh, this could be very bad.
Hell, look, I'm just looking back to LucasArts games from 2003. They had an Indiana Jones game, some is that a fucking driving game? RTX Red Rock? I don't know what the fuck that is.
Hell, give me a fucking F-Zero style pod racing game. Get me back in pod racing, baby.
Now this is pod racing.
Exactly. Thank you.
Racer.
Just in 2003, they released the Star Wars Galaxies, Star Wars MMO. They released Knights of the Old Republic. They released Jedi Knight Jedi Academy. They released Rogue Squadron 3. They released... Oh, actually, those are not Star Wars games. This was a bad year to pick. One sec. Let's go back to 2001. So 2001, they released Star Wars Starfighters, Star Wars Super Bombad Racing.
Oh, no.
Star Wars Galactic Battleground, Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2, Star Wars Obi-Wan, Star Wars Racer Revenge. That's it. And those... Out of those games, the only one I remember is Rogue Squadron 2, and I remember seeing Starfighter. So I think they definitely have a risk of releasing too many Star Wars games. So I don't think... And I think they've learned that lesson, and they haven't, at least games-wise, Marvel games hasn't gone crazy off the rails, because it takes way longer to make a game than it does to make a movie or a TV series.
Oh, yeah, totally.
You've got to make Games are hard.
Games are hard.
It's a miracle that games get made.
It really is. So I have a feeling they're not going to overdo it, and they're going to curate it more than normal. But I want to get a feel from the rest of you as like the last quick talking point before we close out the show of what do you think they are going to do? We've talked about our hopes and dreams. We've talked about like crazy IPs they could bring back. What are they going to do?
I think make mostly very smart decisions with who they license their franchises to. But I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a nightmare situation for them, or like a really bad situation. It would probably just be, a game gets a 7 out of 10, or it gets fucked with microtransactions. But I think they're going to be very like careful in stipulations with like their contracts about like, hey, this shit will not happen again. Yeah. I'm excited for the future of what we get. Like this when this happened last month of them announcing that Lucasfilm Games is coming back, that they're licensing out all their IPs to make more games. I don't think there is any situation where this is like ultimately a bad thing. Like I don't think anybody's gonna look back and be like, oh, they fucked up by doing that. I think we're just the gamers are gonna win, I guess is my ultimate situation.
Gamers
no matter what they make. No matter what they make, like we're gonna see good games come out in franchises that we care passionately about. So, hey, it's good. It's a good time to be a gamer.
It's a good time to be a gamer.
Games have come a long way since back then.
God damn it!
What I'm optimistic about, and what I think is definitely plausible, is basically that they're going to pick a genre that they think is going to be good for Star Wars. They're going to pick a developer that is good at that genre and that they think is going to be a good fit. And they're going to say, hey, do you want to build a Star Wars game for us? And then also there's going to be like some big name developers that are going to come to them and say, hey, we've got an idea for Star Wars. Can we have the license and like some support on this? And I think that's probably what's going to happen is they're going to reach out to a couple people to make some, or to a couple companies to make some games for them. Companies are going to reach out to them, and I think we're going to get some good Star Wars games. I could definitely see, I could see Creative Assembly reaching out and making a like Total War like game, like a sequel to Empire at War or a spiritual successor.
That would be incredible.
See, like I said, a walking simulator. I could see Double Fine. Double Fine's almost definitely going to make a Star Wars game.
Really?
That's
would,
my
I
big
would guess
prediction.
that.
That is
This
my
was
big
something,
prediction.
actually, I totally agree with Lise. This was something that when we were talking about it, I think I thought of it and I didn't say it. Double Fine does have that Microsoft money now. So, and Microsoft do want to get an exclusive Star Wars game.
Yeah, and
Is-
like
Oh.
Microsoft and
Yeah.
Disney are not competitors at all, at least not in any way I know. Like,
No.
I could definitely see, and it's also like Double Fine has a bunch of the old LucasArts people.
Not a
That's
bunch,
a damn
but
good
some.
point. I mean, they
They've got
got
some
they
of
have
the lead
experience
of-
with adventure games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell
I
yeah!
could-
I'm fucking excited for this.
and we're definitely getting a Jedi Knight 2. Or sorry, not Jedi Knight,
Oh, Fallen Order
Fallen
2.
Fallen Order
Or
2.
Star Wars Jedi
Marin's
2.
her name. Marin's
Really
great.
quick.
Marin is like one of my favorite Star Wars characters.
Yeah, I think
Right.
I would be shocked if
Matt-
you didn't get a follow up to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
I
Matt
think it's
says-
been like semi-confirmed, or at least that they're working on it.
Matt says Sucker Punch should make a Star Wars game. Fuck, that's a good idea.
That would be very good.
That's really good.
I could see that being good, yeah.
That'd
See
be
that being
very good. Are you kidding me?
I
Just
don't
Ghost of Tsushima with fucking you're a Jedi. Are you kidding me?
I don't think that will happen, but I could see
I
it.
don't think so either. I think Sucker Punch is locked down. They are too busy
Yeah.
to work on this game. But like, fuck, are you kidding me? Give me that game.
I think
Fucking 1000 Ring comes out in March 2021.
Give me a
Let's go.
FromSoft Star Wars game. Oh
Give me
my
a FromSoft
god.
Star Wars game. Look, I know they've already got the Souls-like genre locked down with Fallen Order, but give me a fucking FromSoft Star Wars game.
here we go.
I'm not joking. I want that so bad.
From
Holy
Soft,
shit.
they fast forward the Star Wars franchise like 1,000 years in the future, and they've got armored core units. Bam, there we go. Giant
Oh,
mecha Star Wars.
I should mention, like, they're definitely going to make a fucking High Republic game. Or
I was going to bring
more.
it up. I'm looking forward to, and I think they will 100% do this, is expanding on some of the quote unquote new lore that they're bringing in with games. Because I don't think they're going to make a ton of series tie-in games, and I don't think it's a good idea to. But I do think they'll build on that lore that they're making in like new comics and things. So I expect a High Republic game. I would be shocked if one didn't come out, honestly, in the next 5 years. And I don't.
maybe the walking simulator that we're speculating will be a High Republic one.
I doubt that, but I feel like the High Republic, like if they do a walking sim one, that one will have to be tied in with something. They won't just make it a one-off for that.
I don't know. I mean, yeah.
And I don't think they're gonna make a walking sim because, like, historically they don't sell Disney numbers. Like, let's be real here.
That's true. It would have to be an indie studio.
Yeah, it would have to be an indie studio, and I don't know that they would even bother with it for how much money they would get from it. I hope to be happily proven wrong on that, but I just don't think it's gonna happen.
So I was thinking like Double Fine could make not specifically a walking simulator, but like a narrative focused game.
Yeah, I figured that's what you meant. I wouldn't expect Double Fine to make a third-person shooter where you're a bounty hunter. No, absolutely not. That's not a game you give the Double Fine.
Tim Schafer's like, all right, we're gonna get Jack Black to voice our main character, and he's a space marine in Star Wars.
Jack Black Star Wars universe confirmed. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they make a game.
But I could definitely
Double
see
Fine.
Double Fine doing a High Republic like narrative game.
I could see it if they have a separate High Republic game. I don't think that'll be the High Republic game.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
they're fleshing out the High Republic. They're like making that the big expanded universe like thing right now that they're
Yeah.
focusing a lot of their efforts on. I think we definitely see more than one of these games that are coming out of Lucasfilm like licensing to be set in that era.
All right. Prij, any final thoughts from you?
No, I mean overall I'm excited. I think my expectations are a little. I'm going to temper my expectations a little bit. I think we could see a couple blunders here and there. Lucasfilm might get a little sloppy, or some developer might hope they can just paste a Star Wars skin too flatly over a different IP and it not actually have any heart in it. But I think we're gonna get some good stuff. I think again, Fallen Order 2 is a guaranteed. And I think there's a good chance to see some old properties get a fresh coat of paint with some actual heart behind them, and they turn into some good games. But we'll see.
I have one. This just popped in my head, and it will never happen. Just to clarify, this will never happen. But for some reason, I cannot get it out of my head, so I have to say it. Adult Swim Games gets the Star Wars properties, and they make Surgeon Simulator Star Wars Edition. And you are a medic in some Star War, and you just get all these alien bodies, and you open them up to perform surgery, and they're all different.
I do not want that.
It won't happen. It will never in a bajillion years happen. But I guess what I'm saying is that I miss. Fuck, what was the surgeon game for?
You want to play Operation?
No, not Operation. The old Nintendo surgeon franchise they had.
Dr.
That was
Mario.
Bad. No, you bastards! I gotta look this up.
I have
Trauma
no
Center.
idea
Trauma Center.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Trauma Center Star Wars. It was on the 3DS.
Adult Swim. I was thinking you were gonna say a Star Wars Robot Unicorn Attack.
Oh, I mean that's.
I thought you were gonna say like a robot chicken game of Star Wars, where it's all action figures as like the characters and everything.
The Robot Chicken Star Wars sketch is very funny.
They are, which is why I thought you'd go there instead of fucking Surgeon Simulator.
Well, they have their own game studio, so like I thought I'd reference the game studio.
Yeah, which could make a robot chicken game with the Star Wars license.
That's fine. I'm sure. What's his name? I was going to say Chris Green, but it's Chris Griffin's voice actor.
Seth Green.
Seth Green. Jesus God. I'm sure Seth Green would fucking lose his mind to work on a Star Wars property. So
that's probably true.
He's a big ass nerd, but I love him.
All right, it's been fun. We're gonna close out the show on that one. If you've
Star
got
Wars Surgeon Simulator, look out for it in 2023, folks.
Jesus,
you heard it here first.
I don't want that game.
And look out for Elden Ring in 2021.
Jesus,
lying to our listeners like that.
If you've been listening and there's a Star Wars game that you love that we didn't mention, drop it in the comments on YouTube. If you're listening on a podcast service, welcome. And we are happy to have you. And if we are missing a podcast service that you love, feel free to hit us on Twitter at SaveDataTeam. With that, any closing plugs you guys?
Look out for the video essay coming up later this next week. Importantly, as mentioned before, I turned 30 on Sunday, February 14th. Don't know why I had to think so hard about that. It's only happened 30 times in my life. We will be streaming from 2 to probably 9 or 10 p.m. Eastern time. Lots of games, lots of giveaways. Gonna be a lot of fun. That's all I got to say on that one. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be fun.
It will be a great time. Prij or Elise? Got anything?
Nope.
Okay, cool. Well, with that, it's been fun. If you like what we're doing, again, hit us with a comment, give us a like, give us a subscribe, save our podcast on your podcast service. That would be cool. Hit us up on Twitter.
Super importantly, if you are watching this, go to wherever you listen to your podcast, find Save Data Team, find Save Data Cast.
There you go. You got it.
Got it in one.
Got it in one, exactly. And give it a rating.
That does help us immensely.
Rating. But I was looking at our podcast the other day on Apple Podcasts. I was like, because we switched where we post our RSS feed, which is a stupid back end thing for podcast stuff. Around the Monitor only has one review. Save Datacast, I think, only has one review, and that's because I gave it a review on Apple Podcasts. Give it reviews, please go do that because it actually matters a lot.
It does.
In, like,
It
how our
does help
podcast gets
us.
out. Please do that. So, I mean, we've only been doing Around the Monitor for 2.5 years at this point. It has one review on Apple iTunes. It's a bad look. And yeah, Save Datacast. Please go give it some reviews.
Mhm.
Helps us a lot.
Does. With that, I think that's it. I don't think I missed anything. If I did, sucks. I missed it.
IGN review Hunipop 2. I want my points.
Elise needs those fantasy points. Please give it to her.
Good fucking luck.
With that, have a wonderful day, everyone. Or night, whatever, whenever you're listening to this. See you later.
Goodbye.